So just wanted to introduce everybody. If you remember back a couple of years ago, we did the website refresh. We're still growing very strong with that. If you are a public image chair or you have people in your club who are new public image chairs and need a refresher, our Melissa Wells is always willing to help us. She's on retainer for us. She does a phenomenal job. So please remember that, because the website is key when people are searching for Rotary, and to keep updating our websites are very important. So I'm going to turn this next portion over to our fearless leader, our public image chair, Dave Schultz, and he's going to talk to you about the public image section on our district website.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that. I put together a video, which I'm going to show. I prepared this for Michelle, actually, as our membership chair for a meeting she had with the Area 16 on Monday. And you'll probably notice I'm losing my voice a little bit. I'm still trying to get over a little bit of a cough. So I'm going to take advantage of having this video already made and just run it for you. The other thing that it does then it limits my talk to about 5 minutes. Whereas I might ramble quite a bit longer if I try and do this off the cuff. So I'm going to do that. I just wanted to point out to you that in the chat, Dave Barry is going to post some documents and some links for you, and some of them you will have received during the reminder email that he sent out earlier. So I'm going to try to set up this video now. Share. Greetings, Rotarians from District 7090, Area 16. District Membership Chair, Michelle Starwalt Woods, has invited me to introduce you to our public image team and the resources that we have available on Rotary7090.org. And so I put together a little bit of a presentation to present to you, and it will be available to you to review after your meeting. I'll proceed with sharing my screen. And start the presentation. So to begin with, this is the cover page or the home page for district7090.org. I should say Rotary7090.org. And our website contains various different sections. You should also be aware that we have a professional web programmer that's managing the site, and so that will hopefully make it easier to navigate. There's a lot of information here. So continuing to the public image section. So under committees, if you go to the submenu public image, then public image support and public image committee contacts, you will be presented with a list of our public image committee members. Following along the same line, if you go to the role of the public image committee, we describe to you the role of our committee for the district, but also the role of a public image committee for a club. So this contains some information that hopefully will be helpful to you to kind of conceptualize where you need to go with your public image approach. Obviously, it varies from club to club and can be customized. Down towards the bottom of the screen, you'll see the role of the club public image committee. And there are a couple of links there to documents that should help you out. First of all, 5 things that a public image chair can do for your club. Just some ideas. And also a public image guide. It's a template for clubs to use and adapt to your own purposes. Following the menu on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see there's a number of different links. One is a resource that we provide, which is a simple email request form for support. So if you click on that link, it will just bring up your own email window with the proper email address to get support from our committee. You should feel free to use this at any time, and we do endeavor to answer any emails that come in as soon as possible. We also have you'll see there this new public image guide template for clubs, which I've already mentioned. Going down the menu, we have links and resources. And you'll see when you click on that link, you'll see this type of a window come up where there's another menu system that organizes these links into district links, Rotaract links, public image resources, and public image committee links. We have also designed a social media toolbox with how-to guides on how to use various social media platforms. We hope that these will be useful to different clubs, various clubs in setting up their own social media strategy. A big request over the years has been for some guidance on how to prepare a media release. How do you approach media in various formats in your community? And so we put together this guide. On all of these windows, if you when you click on this link, there's quite a bit more information that appears as you scroll down the page. But obviously, with a presentation, the space is somewhat limited. We do have a significant bit of information there on copyright infringement, just so that we can try to respect each other's copyright rights and make sure that we don't venture into any kind of liability situation for our clubs. We have a section on website and technology support where we talk quite extensively about hybrid meetings, which is something that has over the last few years been quite a prominent issue, but also general website support for clubs, including the website refresh initiative, which I'll speak to in a couple of slides. As I mentioned earlier, we have this section specifically on copyright infringement and privacy policy. And our website refresh initiative, which we started several years ago. Many of our clubs, in fact, the majority of them have had their websites redeveloped by our professional programmer, Melissa Wells, under this initiative. There's no cost to clubs to join. If you have not had your website looked at by Ms. Melissa, this is still available to you. And if you scroll down on this particular page, there's a form for you to fill out that will go to Melissa for her review, and then she'll be back in touch with you. If you did participate in the refresh and you need some ongoing training or you need some updating to your website, please, again, feel free to be in touch with Melissa. We do have a budget set aside for that. So back to our homepage again. We hope that this presentation is useful to you, and wish you all the best with your presentation today, or your meeting, I should say. Thank you. Take care. All right, so that just gives you a quick run through of the website. And as I said, I think the most important. Oh, hang on a second here. There you go. That's the blooper for today. Anyways, that's the end of my part of the meeting, and we will have a question and answer at the end. I'm going to hand things back to Michelle.
Thank you. I loved that because I feel it was like one of the first times that we took all of our hard work and showcased it. And you know, some of us, me included, with Club Runner and My Rotary, it has so much to offer. And there's times that we sometimes don't know all the proper steps to get there. If I were to read something step by step by step, and I would read it again 10 times over, that is not going to dwell, it's not going to remain in my head. So if I have my mouse, or if I have a touch mouse and I go step by step, like Dave was doing on the screen, I will be golden for a very long time, and then eventually might be able to help him with that, you know, little workshop or whatever it might be. So thank you so much, Dave, for that. Greatly appreciated. Let's see where. So we saw that Dave had five categories up there, and I know Dave Barry sent that along as well. One of the things I like to tell folks is that your top 4 tasks jobs, I don't want to say directives, but your assignment, if you will, as a public image chair or as a member of your public image team is to promote and to promote and to promote even louder, and then communicate. And when I talk about communicate and communication, I want you to even think on a very basic level, because let's face it, our clubs do amazing things each and every day, all year long, for multiple years in a row, even during COVID. And we know it because we're involved, we're rolling up our sleeves, we're getting to work, and we're making the difference. But sometimes there's even people in our own clubs that are not really up to speed, not aware. They've been a Rotarian for a long time, but because of life changes, they're not coming to meetings on a regular basis. So what is our communication with them? Are we relying only on emails? Do we have a newsletter like Tommy's Club has a newsletter? Do we text them every now and then? Do we go and visit them in person or send them a card in the mail or pick them up for a meeting or a fundraiser or a community service project? Because they are the foundation of our clubs, those that have been with us for a very long time. Our new members, and we talk about this a lot, if a new member is not engaged in some type of club activity within the first 3 months, the likelihood that they do not remain a Rotarian after the first year, after the second year, increases the longer they stay inactive and are not part of the group. So not only do we need to promote all the awesomeness that happens within our clubs and in our district, but we need to make sure that we're communicating on a regular basis with all of our members. Something that we've seen recently, and it's not just Rotary, it's in the business world, and it's in the non-for-profit world, and it's in governments. People are not responding to emails. So, I'm not sure what the phenomena is with that, but is it a concern? Sure. But with every concern is a challenge, and with every challenge is an action plan. So if folks are not responding to our emails, if they're not, clicking yes, I'll attend, or yes, I'll be part of that, or I'll register, then what is our action plan to reach out to these folks? Again, they are the foundation of our clubs. What are we doing to engage them? So we need to pick up that communication just a little bit. I always love to highlight this woman. Sue Hammond, for many years, was the public image chair or public relations chair for the Westfield Mayville Club in Chautauqua County, Area 16. In 1 year, she submitted 48 press releases. Their club was featured in 6 print publications, and by print publications, that could be like a wine and cheese magazine or a chamber once a year flyer that they put out, or something touristy in the area. Because of those 48 press releases, there were 288 printed articles. One word of caution: the bigger cities sometimes are not as friendly, the publications, to small town newsletters, or press releases or events. They like you to advertise, they like you to spend some money, and then they'll run your article. But the newspapers that are owned by smaller publishing companies and are part of a smaller, maybe some rural areas, along with middle-sized urban areas, they will print your press releases. but in 1 year, there was 288 printed articles. During that year, there were 21 submissions to the district newsletter. So not only were the other clubs in Area 16 apprised of all the success their club was having, but the entire district was able to see all of their good news, so to speak. There was no way to physically calculate how many pictures and submissions were posted to Facebook and other social media avenues. There's no one from the Westfield Mayville Club online here right now, but the running joke was in years past, if someone from the club would be there, I would get a little side message saying, you know, what are they doing here? They could be running this. So it's just a bit of inspiration to get that word out, to keep promoting our clubs, keep communicating. So we're just going to talk briefly about our own Rotary social media sites. And I paired it back because we do also have a more in-depth social media training, but we're trying to just give you a sample of each of our strongholds in our district tonight. So LinkedIn, Rotary International, if you have social media and you're not following Rotary International, please do. The amount of information and news stories and impact around the world that they share with everyone is humbling, and it gives us great ideas too. We also have our Rotary District 7090 LinkedIn page. Now that's a group. The nice thing about if you have LinkedIn and you become part of the group for Rotary District 7090, you can invite your colleagues, your friends, other people that you associate with through LinkedIn to like our page. They don't have to be just Rotarians. People in your community would love to know what your Rotary Club is doing and what our district is doing through your club. So again, that's just a LinkedIn. All you have to do is search for District 7090 and it will pop right up. Facebook, my granddaughter likes to say that Facebook is social media for old people. And it wasn't like that when it first came out, but it does seem to be that now. I think the younger people are very much into Instagram, certainly a lot of TikTok. I believe we have a Rotaractor who does some things with TikTok and Rotary. Instagram, Twitter, Insta seems to be the biggest one with the younger folks, but we do have Facebook and we've had a lot of success with it. So Rotary International has a Facebook page. Our district has the Facebook page, which is under Southern Ontario and Western New York. And then we also have Rotaract as well. So those are a few things that if you're not following them on the regular, go ahead and give them a like, give them a click, save them as a favorite on your laptop, and promote as well. We just mentioned Instagram. Rotary International is the lead. They certainly have an Instagram account. Our district has an account, and as does the Rotaract in our district. Just to let you know that anything we post to Instagram will also go to Facebook, to LinkedIn, and to Twitter. So, and that's for our whole public image chairs. Anybody that has an admin permission to post, we post across all of those social networks. Dave mentioned and showed you, and he created that presentation through and posted it on YouTube. All of our trainings, all of our web talks, we share that on YouTube as well. And then Twitter. I'll be very honest, I have all of these. I use Facebook the most, and then LinkedIn. I feel like I've been using LinkedIn a lot more to get my information from. So whatever your favorite is, whatever the easiest is for you to use, I would suggest going to those on a more frequent basis. Twitter is shortened. It's not a real long story. And actually, most of the social media sites are not, you're not printing paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. The main reason for social media is actually to draw people back to your own web page. So you might notice somebody might splash something on a social media post through Facebook, through Instagram, and kind of be like, for the rest of the story, go to this link. And again, it draws people to your main source of information and what's going on every day throughout the year. Especially with social media, and not true for press releases too. Your pictures that you post are truly worth 1,000 words. This is probably one of my all-time favorite pictures. If any of you have come to some of the web talks when we've done social media, you've seen me display it before. Sometimes I change the size of it. Sometimes I incorporate it with another photo. This to me tugs at my heart. And I mean, when you see it, whatever reaction you have kind of stays embedded in your brain. And so it's something you'll associate with either Rotary International or in our district or one of the zones, whatever it might be. There's no words attached to it, but it speaks volumes. And of course, those, you know, are the little purple pink fingers for polio, because those children were vaccinated against for polio. And so if it wouldn't have been for Rotary, you know, we wouldn't see almost eradication of the deadly disease. Pictures worth 1,000 words. These are 2 images that were posted by the Rotary Club of Ancaster, which kudos to them. They're one of the fastest growing clubs in regards to membership, and not only in regards to recruiting, but retaining members as well, because it's very important. And so they were having a bottle drive. This is a great image. It shows the bottles. Notice that there's no identification as far as a name brand on those bottles. They're just a plain bottle, not attributed to any, you know, multi-million, billion-dollar industry. So they're having a bottle drive, and they clearly define that that bottle drive is going to support their youth community services. So we all have fundraisers, we all have big events, we all have basket raffles or meat raffles. Listing what the benefits go to is an excellent way for people to buy into it, so to speak. Nice, clean graphics, very clear where it's at, when it's at, and then, of course, using the most recent Rotary wheel. Now, this is a fun picture because this was taken the day of the bottle drive. And there's this lovely little dog. So if you're posting a picture, you can do a live feed at an event, but getting something like this in there will draw in more attention. So people who might not be involved in youth services, but love dogs, will be drawn to this photo. And then they'll see in back, oh, that was the bottle and can drive. I think I remember saying something about that posted on their Facebook page or wherever it might have been posted. You're able to take that dog and maybe even use some hashtags with it, like hashtag animal lover. I'm not sure what kind of dog that is, or maybe it came from a shelter, hashtag whatever shelters in the area. So then you'll be able to draw some more people in from just using different hashtags. These are some, I have to keep moving things around here. So we talk about clean, crisp images. So if we're posting something and we're really wanting to draw some attention, we want to make sure that the pixels are correct. There are many different publishing sites and software that we can use to create this. Many of them are free. There is one Canva we have a Rotary discount for it. And so, or you could just use the free system. It's very easy. You do not need to be a graphic designer to use it. But these are the pixels that work best for the different social media sites. And they're listed right there for you. One of the secrets to success on social media, and it ebbs and it flows. If you notice, sometimes if you're an admin in your club's social media platforms, our district shows that at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, that's when most people are active and looking at our Facebook page. So if we have something like the district conference that we want to promote, or the Great Lakes watershed cleanup, we know that we want to schedule that post just a little bit before 9 o'clock on a Monday morning. We want to get people to engage with us. So we're famous for just kind of scrolling through our phones, right? We just scroll and we look and we absorb and we review and, oh, we might like that one. So we might click it, we might like it, we might share it, we might send it to ourselves in a private message so we have it on our radar. But we just want to make sure that people are engaging with us. So these are just some of the tips that we can use for more engagement. We want to stay current. Live feeds are always great at an event like that pop bottle drive there. If you go live, you're able to get different people who might not belong to your Rotary Club, who are from the community, that will end up sharing it. So those are always great things. Authenticity is very important. You know, in a world of fake news and things like that, we just always want to make sure we're being honest, we're supporting and being true to the Rotary mission. We want to remember the 4-way test, and then just make it exciting. I'm going to stop this for a moment, and then I'm going to go into our press release. And every public image chair in our district who was listed in Club Runner, if your club does not have a public image chair, then these types of announcements will get sent to the president-elect, oftentimes to the secretary. But if you are listed in Club Runner as a public image chair, your club received a made-for-you press release that you could share with your local newspapers or radio station or whatever format you wanted to use. Dave, I couldn't remember the stats, but this particular press release ended up getting a lot of shares, you know, in traditional print media, not even through social media. It gained a lot of attention, did it not?
Yes, it was very successful. We had a lot of people take this template and put their club name in because they were involved in it. I've never seen the kind of uptake in the print media, the online media world, the way that this particular one did. I was getting Google alerts on this particular one, like day after day for weeks after we ran it. So it was very, very, very successful.
And so our district public image team created this press release. It was from relief items and supplies that were sent to a Rotary Club in the Ukraine. And of course, we're all very supportive of this cause, of this mission. The war in Ukraine has tugged on a lot of hearts. So much money has been donated. And so this was definitely a feel-good story. And, you know, boots on the ground. We did this in our community. We were able to ship it overseas to Ukraine. It was received and then distributed. I mean, that's like Rotary. That's what Rotary is. That's what we do. We get chills when we think about it. And so it was made perfect for each club because I'm going to scroll down here. And then we left blanks. So to learn more about Rotary, and then we left that blank in Southern Western New York, which is the Jamestown area, call Ruth London. And then Ruth London put in her email address. And then we had that was a template, rotary7090.org. And that was in the Jamestown Post Journal. So if you happen to be the public image chair and you are thinking, I don't remember seeing this, I can tell you it's true for me, and I'm not sure why, but there's different things that end up coming from Club Runner to me, and they end up in my promotions folder. Now, it's not true with everything. The membership meeting that we had in Area 16 just last evening, all registrations went through Club Runner, and every single registration was emailed directly to me, and it came up in my regular email. But for instance, tonight's public image workshop, if you want, ended up in my promotions folder. Same source, who knows why. So I now know that every time I log into my Rotary email, I go right to the promotions and see if I'm missing anything. And then I go into the regular primary source for my email. I don't know what it is. I've gone and added things to my email address. But if you think you should have received this notice and you didn't, check your promotions folder. And if it's still not there, this dates back a while. Was it October? No, yes, in September. The press releases might have gone out in October. And again, the pictures are worth 1,000 words. I love, love, love the clubs that have the Rotarian at Work t-shirts and flyers and signs and banners. And then here we are across the ocean in the war-torn country of Ukraine, and there they are receiving all of our supplies that were sent.
It looks like the email, just going back through, I received it November 30th from Sandy Shard. So if anybody goes back through their email.
Okay, great. So Tanya, are you your club's social media chair?
Yep, public
image chair?
Yep.
And so as long as you spoke up, I'm just going to ask you a real quick question. Is there anything more from our district as far as our public image team is concerned that you would like assistance with, or ideas, suggestions, or do you think it's just kind of a healthy mix right now?
I think it's just a healthy mix. I've been doing it for a long time. I'm pretty up with the technology. We have our club itself. We have Facebook and all of the websites for both our club and our new satellite club. Plus we have Facebook and Instagram and everything for our events as well. So when we do our auction, well, the mega auction, we've got a separate social media for each of those. And for our Rib Fest, we have all those. So.
And your Rib Fest is huge, right?
Niagara Falls, we're not that
no,
big.
not like, okay.
But, we also have, for anybody looking for Canva, we have the nonprofit free full use Canva. So we got the nonprofit status for free for our club. So I can help if anybody needs help trying to. I know if I had to apply a few times and I was denied at first, but if you keep submitting and eventually they cave and give you a free.
I was going to say you wear them down eventually. That's great. Yeah. And then Tanya, do you have a team that works with you at your club, or are you the main person?
It's just me.
Okay.
And my best friend just joined the satellite club, so she's going to try and take on some of the satellite with me. So she does. I've got her logged into into our club Canva, and so she's been making posters. We've got our own like bottle drive posters and stuff that we design in Canva, and we have one for the Great Lakes watershed that we've been promoting on our social platforms and stuff. So
that's excellent. And Dave Barry and Dave Schultz, I do see a lot of comments or posts in the chat. So do either of you want to share any of those now before I just pull up my last screen?
I think what I was just kind of posting to people was if we can wait till the Q&A at the end.
Okay.
So there'll be a couple of questions that are coming up. Paul had to leave and he had something specific about LinkedIn, but he's going to send me an email. So
Sounds good.
we do have before, just as a reminder, Jim is going to share a little bit about the copyright infringement part of things. So, okay.
Right, just wrapping up.
Yeah. sounds good.
The last thing I want to say, two last things actually. Our district has its very own hashtag. And so if you ever look on any of the district's social media posts, you will notice hashtag tag the spirit. So you have the number sign for us old fashioned people, and then you have the words tag the spirit all in one. This goes back a couple years, and so it took us a long time to get that it's been shared and used over 1,000 times. So now we're moving to that next goal. We'd love to see it up over 10K at some point. That would be exciting. So that's 100% belongs to our district. We coined the phrase. We use it on everything. I even use it in emails that I send out so people get familiar with it. We have hashtag Rotary Rocks. We have hashtag Rotary. We have hashtag People of Action. Those are always some things we can use when promoting items on social media. Last words. We don't want to forget traditional sources. Many radio stations will allow non-for-profits, and we have our own non-for-profit now status in our district. They will allow PSAs, public service announcements, for free. Now, are they played during morning rush hour time? Probably not. But they are fill-ins, and sometimes people will hear them. If we ended up doing some paid advertising for a Rib Fest, for a shredding day, for a fly-in breakfast, they would take those PSAs and wrap them in around some of the paid advertising, and then all of a sudden you're much more on air and being broadcast. Newspapers, penny savers, small print publications, Western New York, Buffalo area has like the Bee magazines or papers. They're everywhere, very low cost. And things like yard signs, banners. There's towns that would actually let folks hang a banner before a big event. Sometimes think out of the box. There have been Rotary clubs who've purchased the big billboards, have seen increased traffic. I get the membership leads from Rotary International, and there's been like 3 or 4 within the last month that said that they saw a billboard in Canada. And I'm not exactly sure where it is, but they must all be seeing the same billboard because they're making reference to it. So some of those things are important as well. And then I'm going to stop, and then we are going to now talk about copyrights and infringements and things like that.
Did you want to do this before the question period, Dave?
Yes, please.
Yeah, Jim. So if you don't mind, I hope I'm not putting you on the spot here, but if you have a few minutes just to share your update on your particular experience with this, that would be greatly appreciated.
It's actually quite timely, and so thank you for that. I kind of watched everybody as Dave was talking about his policy document about copyright infringement, and a lot of people's eyes rolled into the back of their heads because it's just more bureaucracy and things to worry about out there. But we had in our club, we had quite a serious experience with this. It's unfolded over the last year and a half, and just to walk it through is to say what Dave has put out in this document is very helpful and should lead you towards some policy considerations at your club level if you haven't. I'll also kind of by intro say that we're all worried about scams these days. And the tendency these days is to get something that looks like a scam and dismiss it, which was our experience with this copyright infringement issue. And it turned out that it wasn't a scam. And so we have to be careful. So the background is that about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, somebody doing my job in our club lifted an article from another Rotary club. And basically the article was 4 pictures of certain people. One was the Pope, one was Jimmy Carter, one was Colonel Sanders, and I can't remember the 4th. And the article suggested these people are all Rotarians. The inference was, how cool is that? You know, if Jimmy Carter can be a Rotarian, I guess we all can be. And so that article went out, and it survived its short tenure. And 7 years later, we got a letter from a company called PicRights in Toronto, who represent Reuters International, and said, you have erred in the use of these pictures, and we require you to cease and desist, and we require you to send us about $500. So I think I was about 3 weeks into my job as the public relations chair. It kind of alerted me to how difficult the job was. In any event, I got a lot of advice from Dave Schultz. I got a lot of advice from our insurance companies, and basically even went to Zone, who gave me some advice, and they all suggested that this is something you should just ignore, which we then went to the board and decided that we would. So that was all pretty good. What it did do is it caused us to raise our own club policy on the issue of use of pictures and things like that. And that was a useful outcome of it all. However, in December this year, we then got a letter from Reuters International's Toronto-based lawyers, Aaron Bearless, saying that that we were still negligent in paying money and cease and desisting on this particular story, and wouldn't we now send them $1,200? Our inclination at the time was to say, this just doesn't look right. Why would they be going after Reuters for something as difficult or simple as this? When we looked into it, turned out that Aaron Bearless is a bona fide legal firm in Toronto, and the lawyer that sent the letter to us was a bona fide lawyer who was actually dealing in copyright enforcement, and it turns out that he was actually representing Reuters in this trolling exercise. So it was a real world thing, and when it was all done and said, we entered into a dialogue back and forth with the lawyer, and the lawyer then recognized that maybe Rotary clubs in a rural setting weren't the target of his fundraising initiatives. And just by sheer coincidence, this afternoon we got a note back from the lawyer saying that they were going to let us go. They were going to remove the lawsuit against us. However, it is a long story to say that if these things are happening out there, and we would have been far better to have dealt with it when it happened last year than let the whole thing run over as we did. And I would just summarize it all by saying the good thing that came out of it is it enhanced the awareness of copyright issues in our modern litigious society. And it also forced me to work with district to set out our own policy for it. So all of that were positive outcomes to it all. So I think that's all I wanted to say, Dave.
That's great. Thank you, Jim. I didn't know the last part of that story, and so that's very interesting. One of the things you do really want to make sure you're doing is using the photos that are in the public domain. And I'm sure that's kind of the high, I mean, that's the simple side of it, but Jim's come up with, I think, a much more thorough kind of policy for his club. And we may, Jim, I'll probably be talking to you about getting a copy of that with your permission to just to strip out the identifying information and maybe set it up as a template that we can make available to people, because you've done so much work on it rather than reinvent the wheel. So we'll pass back over to Michelle.
So I was just quickly perusing the chat box. Is there any questions right now that anyone has? I just wanted to say, Patty, what a cool idea. Buttons that have like the QR code on it. That's a great idea. And then Sue mentioned bookmarks with a QR code that draws people back to their websites, to their social media. And that's perfect because it's really thinking out of the box. It's not the, tried and true over and over. We're doing the same thing. We're thinking of something different to spread the news, to promote, and communicate. So thank you for that. Any other
Maybe I
questions?
can just point out, Michelle, too, to people that if you want to save the chat, just click on the 3 dots that are at the top of your little type message here window in the chat. And you can click on save chat. That'll save it to your drive and you can reference it later.
I had a question if I could.
Go right ahead.
Maybe for Michelle or Dave. If you had $100 to spend to promote your particular event, do you think it would be better spent in the print media or in boosting it on Facebook? We're having this debate in our club, and the real question is there value in using the boost function in Facebook, and would that be a better way to spend your dollars than just going out and putting an advertisement in the local print media? What do you think?
That's an excellent, really profound, great question. And then I'm just going to ask if we could stop the recording at this point. It's the same thing as when you're having an event or promoting something, or even if you are an admin for your club's social media accounts, you can be at a school play and take a picture, and then, or even, sometimes they're posting it right away. You can change your account to the Rotary account from your club and like it and comment on it and share it. And then sometimes you'll notice if you do that, they in turn end up following your club. We've seen that on the district level. We've definitely seen it in the clubs, and that, Tommy, to your point, that's true for the smaller clubs too. If you can embrace and promote those around you, you develop a little bit of a partnership with them, and they'll be appreciative of you and what you're doing to help promote them as well.
Good. Jim has a question.
Yes, I just wanted to pursue the business of getting the message out to within the Rotary family a little bit. We've talked about things to get the message out to the community. We're going to do a dragon boat thing in June. It's going to be quite a big event. And supposing I wanted to get the message out within the district or even wider than that, what I'm aware of is that I could put something into the district newsletter, which is just sort of a short story about this. But is there a kind of a more efficient way of getting messages out to clubs within the district than using the district newsletter?
What you could do, Jim, is if you post it on social media, on Facebook, if you tag the district, then it'll show up on the district news feed. So on our Facebook, so try and remember that you can tag different clubs and different people, and it'll show up on their feed as well, and they can then go and share it more broadly as well. So and more people are doing that now. I've noticed that with different clubs that the district is getting tagged on these posts about events, and we certainly try to promote as much as we can to help everybody out, get the word out.
Could you basically explain what that hashtag does? I mean, it's not so obvious to everybody.
It's not so much. I wasn't referring to the hashtag, but I can speak to that as well. But it's more about in your text. If you tag somebody like our at Rotary 7090, then it goes onto our Facebook. With the hashtag though, if somebody's searching a certain topic, or they see a post in social media that has a hashtag to a certain topic, if they click on that, it'll bring up all the articles that everybody, all of the posts from different people who have used that hashtag. So if you're interested in, so for instance, like Michelle was talking about hashtag tag the spirit. If you click on that particular hashtag, you're going to get a whole list of different things that have been run that have used that. So if it's a certain, you know, the Rotary Foundation is one that we use, right? So, and that brings up a bunch of posts about Rotary Foundation. So it just kind of helps spread the net a little further.
It's a bit like a modern day encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Like it or not, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Going back to that little community group suggestion too, I would suggest trying to contact a lot of the admins that run those community groups, because a lot of times they will post on your behalf. And there's a new thing kind of going with Dave's talking about tagging people. When you're an admin of a group, you can actually tag everybody that's joined your group. So it's, I don't know, the new trend is to tag at everybody, but only admin status people can tag at everybody. So if you befriend, I know like here in Niagara, we have Niagara 411. So I know Nick pretty well. And anytime I have anything to promote, I just send it directly to Nick and he'll promote it and he'll do the at everyone tag so that it comes up in everyone's feed. So I suggest not only joining those community groups, but trying to figure out who has the admin status to, you know, and sometimes like, you know, they'll take, I bribe Nick with, you know, maybe best passes or whatever to help us for free. So
There you go.
And if you do like I do and share a lot to the District 7090, they automatically give you admin status, so they don't have to keep checking to make sure that your post can go on.
even
You
in my
noticed
club,
that, did you, Sue?
I noticed.
even in my club, it's well known that I bombard people. So like I will share it on Dave Barry's page. I will share it on like individual members. Like I'll just bombard as many, like their Facebook page is my advertising page, because I'm gonna push it
I
and
thought
share
you
it on
did that
everybody.
just because I was a friend.
No, I do it to everybody. I do it to your wife too, Dave.
Are there any other questions or comments right now? Is there any next steps that you would like us to work with you on or talk with you about or delve into just a little bit deeper?
I could
Dave?
just mention something. What one of the things that we've been talking about doing next is to have, we have a number of people that have really been developing this public image expertise, and some who come in with it, with a background in the area. So we'd like to have a session where we actually feature certain people for just to speak for 5 or 10 minutes to share their experience, and that we would kind of benefit from everybody's expertise. So we're kind of looking at that for sometime in the spring.
I get this from Governor Lisa too, and she's, thank you is easy enough to say and easy enough to share. But we all in our district are ever so appreciative of each and every one of you. You know, I see a lot of you folks at the same meetings and over the years, and some new faces too. So thank you for stepping forward for your club to bring this back to your club and continue, you know, to promote. There was someone, Jim, when you talked about sharing on a broader level, your assistant governor is your key to getting that information out to your other clubs in your area. Because if you're hosting an event, you know, sometimes if it's something online like that auction and that, I'll pop on because I don't need to get in my car and drive for 3.5 hours. But so if it's something that's in person in your area, your assistant governor and your president-elect in your club knows who that person is. Touching base with that assistant governor will open up those other areas, other clubs in your specific area up. And we've been trying, just last night, Dave mentioned it, our area 16 in Chautauqua County had kind of a membership, public image, and joint projects night. Where are we going from here? It was really beneficial. And I think as these clusters continue to promote and work together, we'll even broaden that Rotary word, and then we'll get membership up to 2,000.
I just have a question, in request maybe for next time. I really enjoyed the video at the beginning that showed us on the screen how to get to exactly where we need to go. I struggle with, I love the graphics on the public image of the Rotary.org, but I really struggle with, I wrote down all the numbers for the different sites for photos, but the what do you call those endings, the file format, and then the basket, when I have graphics that I want to download and the words to go with them and put them in the basket and download them here. If there was a tutorial on doing that, and maybe that is somewhere online and I just haven't seen it, but that's an area I struggle. And I think the RI graphics are so good. I would like to use them intermixed with the local and the club. So that would be a request that I have for future sessions.
And if you guys, if you go in and you follow the Facebook page, it's Rotary Public Image. I think it was Evan Burrell that has that Facebook page up. They have all sorts of different things. They have graphics share that you can use with their permission. So usually they put them up there and they say, use them, change them, whatever you want to do with them. Because there's a lot of good ideas there. And I use those quite often for our Facebook, because if you don't have the time to actually create something, you can share it from all the other people that are doing all these wonderful things. You share it. So.
And is it, Dave, you share her things quite often. Is it Debbie Vance?
Yeah, that's right. She's I thought she's I forget which club she's with, but she's a graphic designer, and she always makes it public to for everybody to share
For
So-
free, and
so,
they're
yes, very
really
good.
high quality images. Dave Barry.
I think there's one last question that we can get from the second Lisa Avery.
No, I just said mine. Thank you.
Sorry, I was on something else. Okay, I turn it all over to Dave.
Okay, I guess I'm going to wind up. I think I appreciate everybody joining us. We've had some people drop off just because we're going overtime, but it's always a pleasure being with you guys. And Dave is going to publish the video from this recording. So if you have club members who weren't able to make it, or you know people who weren't able to make it, they can still at least get caught up with what our discussion was today. And I just want to thank everybody for taking the time.
And keep spreading the word.
That's it. Let's get the word out.